I've told MJ this, but I put it in a resume of a job I didn't want. I put that I'm a great joke teller.
That's one of your
one of my skills.
One of your strengths.
They didn't.
That's true. We're laughing. All right, everyone. Welcome back to Waiting to Dry, the most blatantly disrespectful art podcast around. It's like we talk shit both on and off the mic about other art podcasts. But, you know, that's how we do it in 2019.
Blucka, blucka, blucka.
Blup, blup. All right. My name's Sergio Lopez.
I'm Josh Lawyer.
And I'm MJ Lindo Lawyer.
And
today our guest is MJ Lindo Lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Was I not supposed to say anything until you
threw us off our game now?
Restart.
Okay. See, this is what I was talking about, guys. Now you guys get it.
We're just going back and redoing every episode.
Right. Can you restart that intro, Sergio?
Yeah. Welcome back to Waiting to Dry, the most blatantly disrespectful art podcast.
Mm-hmm. You are.
Back.
You are.
I am Sergio Lopez.
I'm Joshua Lawyer. And today our guest is MJ Lindo, Lawyer.
May I speak?
Soon to be just MJ Lindo. Yeah, you could talk now.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Take your Greg and get out.
Yeah, this is our holiday last 2000. Oh no, this will drop right in 2009.
Yeah.
Tomorrow it's supposed
Drop
to drop
it tomorrow. Yep.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So Happy New Year's, everyone.
Happy New Year.
There's no Happy New Year song I was going to try to sing. Thank you for doing this, wife.
You're welcome.
Mother of my children, Mello and Greg.
You're welcome.
So you guys do resolutions?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, party hard. And you only live once. Mm-hmm. So party hard is my number one.
Yeah.
Number two is watch your back. Number three, I got nothing.
They never last. I don't remember what last year's were.
Yeah, you always do. Here's the way they last: is you always make it something you can do.
Like
make it something you're already doing.
Eat chocolate.
Yeah, eat chocolate. Eat one banana this next year. Just one. And get it done right in the beginning. And you like nailed it.
That works.
Yeah, but you, Sergio.
Do I do resolutions?
Like New Year's resolutions. I feel like they're just like all that is a goal, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I always have goals.
Yeah.
But I don't have goals set because it's a new year.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how I feel about them as well.
Yeah, it's kind of funny now because since we've got this new president guy, every like New Year's, I'm like, cool, one more year. It's like
that we're
like
alive?
Counting the years. No.
Oh, a countdown.
But more like a countdown of like, cool,
right.
he's getting there. You know, because I think 2016 was like the first, right when he got elected, was like a miserable New Year's.
Yeah.
And the second one was like, all right, we got one down. Now it's like, all right, here's number two.
Countdown till he's reelected.
USA! USA! USA!
That's awful.
And that is sarcasm. In case anyone was wondering.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
New listeners like, I'm done with this podcast.
Yeah. One thing that since the last time MJ was on the show that we've kind of knocked out was a little tiny mural we did in Santa Rosa.
Mm-hmm.
We've dipped our toes into that, which is cool. MJ's been trying to like figure out that minefield for a couple, probably like this year. I think you were really trying to figure out how to dip your toes into it, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's been a while. I kept on asking people who do murals, like what their process is,
Mm-hmm.
which has just been difficult because it just seems like unless you're in the mural world, it's just difficult to get murals.
Yeah.
So I've just been kind of approaching people and lying, if I can say that.
You can lie. Yeah. Or you can say you didn't do that. You can say you didn't lie, but that would be a lie.
But yeah, I've been pretty much telling people that I paint hella murals.
Right.
And I've never done it. So yeah.
What else
But
is
now
a
I
lie?
have, and it's
what
no
else has
longer
been
a
a
lie.
lie?
I just tell them I do art, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, cool."
I mean, it doesn't hurt that you have like art presence.
Right, right.
And, you know,
But it's like I'm happy that we've done at least this little one, because it would have been awful if somebody said, yes, paint a mural,
right.
and I had no idea what I'm doing.
sure.
So at least I got some experience doing this one, because it's like I've gone to businesses and had meetings with people and had no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know. And we did the mural, like, I think we finished 2 weeks ago or something like that, right?
I finished last week, I
Last
think.
week.
Yeah.
And since then, you've gotten 2 people who have approached you for murals.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
And it's
then
been-
we already
yeah.
have like a mural we're planning on doing on top of those 2. But those 2 are like commission pieces that,
Right. Those are ones where I'm giving them pricing and they, you
Right.
know, they're agreeing to it. So
it's kind of cool in that regard because,
yeah.
you know, art, it's one of those things where being out on the, like artwork being out on the street somehow has this effect that being inside of a gallery doesn't.
Yeah, it's definitely like huge billboard type marketing. Like it's just, it gets people. And I
Right.
think like that, my thought is just like, I just want to paint this little city as much
Right.
as possible. I mean,
For sure.
before, I mean, my dream is to like travel and do murals, and I think I need to start here and leave
Right.
my mark here first.
In our hometown of Santa Rosa.
Yeah, and
Right.
then, you know, go Bay Area and then further and further until you've made a name for yourself enough to start going international.
And then after you paint the world is like the moon. Wait, I don't know, but it has been pretty cool to see. What it kind of reminds me of, we talked about this before, but you know, like tattoos are a big art form that people pursue in getting. You know, like the average Joe might have a tattoo or 5, you know, and they're pursuing this art, but art in galleries isn't necessarily that. It's a niche market. But murals reminds me of it because if people are pursuing you, it's to get something done on their building,
Right.
wherever they work or whatever. So it kind of is very similar to tattooing in that regard of like,
Yeah.
it's for them.
Right.
It is commission work.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is it is in, you know, tattooing is very similar in the fact that it is like a billboard. You know, people will see tattoo on someone's body and say, "Who did that?" And you know, they'll kind of send you to that artist
Yeah.
through that.
Definitely. Yeah. People get Josh and I were talking about it yesterday, and it's like Ursula is a pretty well known
So muralist.
muralist and just like San Francisco based artist. Like you know, ever since
What's Ursula's last name?
Young.
Young. That's what I
Oh,
heard.
right.
I didn't want to say it. Yeah.
I think it's Ursula Young. But I remember speaking, I don't know if it was the gallery Luna Rien that we were working with or
Right.
somebody else, or maybe a different gallery owner had told us that she had done a mural on Haight Street, and this one mural got her and continues to get her a ton of work
Right.
and like presence in the art in the art world and like galleries and stuff like that, because this one mural on Haight Street's been there I don't know how long,
Right.
but she killed it and people loved it and sought her out. And then
Right.
I don't know if she just put her name or her website, but she's just gotten continuous work from that one mural for years.
You continue work.
Continual work.
Continuing work.
But yeah, I mean, it's like there's this muralist that I follow. His name is Drew something.
Drew Poo.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Carrie.
Gary.
Anyway, yeah, he's
Mountain Drew.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
This is what I deal with on a 24-hour basis.
Day. Block up. Yeah. Today it was funny because the couch me and Sergio are sitting on is me and Mello's couch. It's our couch. And MJ, she tries to sit on it with us, but she has her own couch. You know? So,
I get the one couch that sinks that nobody else wants to sit in. That's super uncomfortable and hurts your back because my dog and my husband need to sit on their own couch. So sometimes I just sit on the floor. That's my life.
But it's our couch. Sorry. That was a huge segue.
This is sad music for MJ. I should have played that while you were telling your story.
But anyway,
ball, Sergio.
Yeah. So
I'll fix it in post.
This artist Drew, he's an amazing muralist, but he gets these huge walls, like massive. And on his Instagram, he just talks about how like those are like what his goals are. These huge, massive walls.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, he does great work.
That's the dream.
But he's also doing like paintings right now that are cool too.
Yeah, he works with like ThinkSpace and stuff. So he's like good in the art world.
Yeah.
Got himself set up.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because, you know, the way you started getting into figuring out your mural steps is you asked a bunch of muralists. And for me, that's like never my move. But I always think it's like a good thing. Well, you in general, you ask hello people, like all artists,
just questions,
random questions, sometimes way too personal.
Yeah,
like what's your mortgage payment look like?
Yeah.
I know. I'm just always trying to learn, figure out how people are doing their thing.
Yeah,
but
I think it's a good move. I'd never have that idea of asking people because sometimes you will meet someone and instantly start asking them questions like that, and I'm like, okay, that's not awkward.
But I'll listen to the answer.
Yeah. But yeah, there was this Jeremy Duncan. He sent me. Did you see that meme on Instagram that's kind of going around about Van Gogh cutting his ear off?
No, I haven't seen that yet.
It says like, "Oh, what kind of pencil did you use to do this drawing?" And then it says me, and then it shows Van Gogh cutting his ear off.
That's hilarious.
And I thought it was hilarious. And then if you look in the comments, it's like this pretty good dialogue. Some of it's like I don't know. It's kind of good and kind of ridiculous because people took it way too serious.
Oh, okay.
They get like offended by it.
People always take memes too serious.
Yeah. It's weird. It's like, you guys realize it's a joke.
Yeah. Well, it's like when I posted that one about the prints, like, well, not just two people will buy the print if you put it out. You just have to put it out there.
Right. Yeah.
Did people get mad at that?
No, it's just some people always have to have a contradictory opinion to your joke.
Right. Yeah. I don't know if you want to talk about your little conversation you had. No, actually, we probably should.
Well, what's his name? It's like, I can't afford that, my guy.
Oh.
Did you see that?
Yeah, Josh showed it to me.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't talk about it. Just because
it's kind of fun to troll the troll back.
That's why I don't want to talk about it, because I feel like that's like people trying to like give you shit. Like people that on Instagram that give you like negative comments, I feel like they love when you talk back to them. It's like, but if you just are like, whatever, man, or like, I don't care, or, you know, my go-to is always like, cool story, bro. And then I just don't ever talk back to them.
Yeah.
Because that's, to me, that's what they want, is like,
right.
They kind of want your attention. They're pretending that, you know, I don't know. A negative response to me is just like, look at me.
Yeah.
I got my first one on Facebook this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was because that Savior Fair came and did that film, and they put it on their Facebook and then tagged me. And then this, I don't know who she is, but it's some lady in India. She's like, that shirt's ugly. But I get like a notification, and I just saw somebody say that shirt's ugly. I'm like, when did I didn't post any selfies recently. Like, what are you talking about? And yeah, it was just some lady saying like, that shirt's ugly. And it was the video of me painting over the shirt that I had painted on piece. It's like, I know it's ugly. That's why I painted over it. But yeah, I don't respond to that. Like, there's no, for me, there's, ever since like social media, I've never responded to stuff like that.
For sure. Yeah, it's weird because for me, I don't know if I ever respond negatively, like to something. Maybe I might respond negatively to someone trying to get my attention. Like, if someone says like, please look at my art page.
Yeah.
I'll just write, nah.
Yeah.
Actually, I won't. If they say please, I'll do it. But there was this guy that said like, look at my art page and follow me. And I was like, nah. And then he was like, that was rude. And I'm like, I don't know what you want from me, man. Like, like, why are you asking this of me?
Yeah. That command is rude.
Yeah. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm an asshole sometimes on Instagram. For the most part, like, if someone asks me a genuine question, I will literally write paragraphs of shit. For
Yeah.
That for whatever. But if you're saying, like, look at my work and follow me, I'm like, no. Why should I?
Right.
I'm not going to be like, oh, thank you so much for asking. And I'm not going to follow at this time, but I really appreciate it. It's like, no, I'm not going to do that. And then let you know that that's not what I'm trying to do without being polite about it. But feel free to ask me any kind of question and I'll answer it for the most part. Sometimes I get behind, especially if I've answered the question like 12 times, like what pencil, what pencil, what pencil. I'm like, please, like after like the 10th time of answering it, we'll skip it, you know, but whatever.
Yeah, but what pencil?
That's the weirdest question to me. It really is what pencil? Because you're like, I'm using a mechanical pencil. Like, go pick one. Who gives a fuck? It really, like, I mean, there's no magic to the pencil.
Yeah.
Like, sure, this one might feel more comfortable in my hand.
Right.
That doesn't mean you should use it. You know, there are certain things about certain pencils that make them last longer. Especially if you're using like 0.3 lead, which I use sometimes. So those ones I'm very particular about. But even then, it's like I use 3 different 0.3 leads and I'm still trying to figure out within those 3 which ones I like the best or worth the money. And I'm willing to do the research. So like, go figure it out. Like, you know, if you ask me like what's in that mechanical pencil, then I'll answer your question because I use a lot of colored leads. That makes more sense to me, but just like what pencil, it's like, I don't know, whatever, Bic. Pick whatever, man. I don't care.
Do you break mechanical pencils very often?
Oh yeah.
Do you really?
You don't?
No. Well, I don't use that mechanical pencils that often.
Because I do a lot of gestural work with my pencil.
With your color pencil, with your mechanical pencil.
Sword fighting with you.
Yeah, exactly.
I always love that meme of like if somebody like if I need to send like an artist meme, like I don't know, the gifts, the artist gifts, there's that meme or that gif on your phone of the lady from Scream painting. Do you know like it's like this lady from the Scream parodies and she's like the
like Scary Movie?
Yeah, the scary movie ones, and she's supposed to be the artist. No, she's supposed to be like the artist. But she's just like she's supposed to be like the angry artist, and it's just ridiculous. It's hilarious, so I can't think of it.
I wish I could be a part of this laughter.
I bet you people know what it is, though. Wait, get rid of the scary movie and just said artist painting gift.
Super entertaining for our listeners.
No, sorry, it's not popping up.
All right, whatever.
Anyway.
We'll survive. I don't know what you're talking about. Do you know what she's talking about?
No, I don't.
It's just this lady.
We know all the gifts.
She's just like angry painting and then like going like this and like paint all over herself. And it's like that whole thing where she's like a hot girl, but she doesn't know she's hot. And then
it's probably,
and she's like being hella angry, but then they turn.
Are you sure it's about Scary Movie? Because I know
it's one of those. It's just one of those parody movies. But you turn
it might be not another teen movie. Or something.
Yeah, I think so.
Is it, what's her name? Anna Faris?
Because
No, it's not on a fair.
I know there's that one, like, remember Lainey Boggs? What's that movie called? Like, She's All That or some shit like that?
Yeah, she's being the all that girl, and she's like the hot girl, but she's also an artist, an angry artist who's like crying and painting hella hard. And then you turn the thing around and it's like a smiley face or something like that. It's that girl.
That sounds familiar.
That one.
This here?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
But yeah, she's always like she's just like the hilarious stereotypical artist.
We try to stay away from stereotypes, but
So ridiculous.
yeah,
I love that.
she's
So
doing like measuring.
I always wish I painted like that because it's so ridiculous. It's like the best like rendition of an artist.
Like ridiculous artists. It's always weird when you see someone who.
But yeah, that's like the painting she's doing.
It's always weird when you see someone who's like super intense, but then you look at their artwork and you're like, that is not good.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, do you get that? Do you get to have that ego without the or without the genius behind it?
I used to have a teacher at the JC, and she would teach color theory. She had other stuff, but she hated like that stereotypical artist. So she's
So
like,
do I.
Right? But she was like in her class. She's like, "Do not come in here dressed as an artist." I'm like, I don't know what that means.
The artist
But it was
uniform.
like that. Yeah, like that. She like wouldn't.
Yeah.
She's like, you can't come in here if you're dressed like an artist. I'm like, I don't know what that means, but I'm just gonna wear my regular clothes because she hated it. Like she didn't like when people had like splatters all over themselves. Like I'm an artist,
Right.
and she just drive her crazy.
Yeah. I think I might have told this story before, but I've been to an art show where a guy was like literally covered in paint from head to toe.
Yeah, I remember you telling me
And
that.
then I'm like, oh, what painting do you do? And he was like, oh, I'm not in the show. I'm like, what, you couldn't shower before you got to the art show, man? Like, to me, it's always, the tell is usually like, an artist will dress normal usually for art shows, but if you have like a couple splatters on your shoes, that's usually my like tell, like, oh, they're probably one of the artists.
Yeah, like if I show up with my shoes, like I'm wearing right now.
Exactly. It's like you're not trying to like show off, but you know, you might dress like normal,
Right.
but your shoes will be your shoes. Like you're painting them and
Yeah.
you wear them to whatever. So
I always tell Sergio's story. I don't know if it was like that one time I was over at your house and we were doing like a painting exchange or something, but there was
Oh, sure.
trail of paint to your room,
Yeah.
and like there was only, it was you, like you had stepped in it and left a trail on the carpet to your room of just paint.
It took me a while to it took my parents a while to get me to clean it, but then it took me a while to clean it. I was going to say, your friend Talopa shows up to art shows covered in paint, but that's usually because he's painting at those art shows.
yeah, he's ridiculous.
And he's
a
usually
ridiculous man.
wearing crop top.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and a tutu.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's that. But
yeah.
it fits him perfectly. Like it's him. He's not trying to
Yeah,
be
he's
it.
definitely an eccentric person.
Right.
Yeah. He's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like that all the time. I think I've never not seen him like that.
No, he's always like that, is what I've heard.
Around art shows or not around art shows.
Right.
But it's whatever. I haven't seen Talope in a while. I want to get him on this show.
I think it'd be fun.
He's tough to lock down, that boy. He's like, yeah, maybe I'll just like show up one day. Like, dude, that's not an option.
Not how booking a guest works. Huh?
Yeah. So I just stopped trying. But whatever. But yeah, I wanted to talk more about the mural stuff because I think it's interesting because I'm sure there are people out there that are like, how do I get into mural shit? And we're established artists. And even for us, it's like, I don't know how you start that thing off.
I don't know. I mean, like what I've been doing is just literally approaching people and saying,
Right.
I've done hella murals
Yeah.
and I haven't,
Yeah.
and asking them if they want it. And
You should figure out how to like put your image and then like impose it onto like a wall.
Right.
On
Yeah.
Photoshop.
This
and
is
then
what I could
Photoshop,
do.
yeah.
This is some of the things I could paint for you.
Hypothetically.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that
This is on a mural, and then in like in fine print, right? Like in the digital world.
yeah, but the more murals I think you have, like, because literally that mural that I did has been up for a week,
Right.
and I'm getting messages, and
Really? Huh.
yeah, and I think like as long as because it's not even the best piece, it's not my best artwork.
Yeah, it's not the best piece there. That's correct. Thank you for that. Go on.
But yeah, I think the more murals you have, the more people start talking and get excited, and then when I approach businesses, I'm not lying anymore,
Right.
and I actually have like a portfolio of murals.
You'll probably lie about other stuff just because that's your
stuff.
thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're just a liar.
I usually add in resume that I can speak a couple more languages than I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just hoping that they don't know if you're actually speaking them. You're like, yeah, I could speak Swahili. You're just like doing the clicks and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always done that and like pretended that I know Excel, and then it's a nightmare when I don't.
Yeah.
And then they expect you to.
Yeah, I know a couple words in Swahili, but that doesn't mean I could speak it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I get the job.
Yeah.
That's what counts. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I remember I put in a resume. I've told MJ this, but I put it in a resume of a job I didn't want. I put that I'm a great joke teller.
as one of your
one of my skills.
one of your strengths.
They didn't.
That's true. We're laughing.
Yeah, I've had like the job I have right now. I'm probably not qualified for, but now I'm qualified because I got the job. Now I'm overqualified because I've been there almost 3 years.
Nice.
But there was like an Excel test that you had to take, and I had my dad help me with it. And
by help, what do you mean?
He was standing right next to me, giving me the answers.
Okay. So he did it. Okay.
But hey, I got
That's
the
called
job.
Cheating.
Cheating.
Yeah, like because I used to do really good in this test in my math class, but it's only because I could see the guy's paper next to me and would copy it. But I never was like, I am great at this math.
I remember I was telling my boss like all the times that I had gotten in trouble at school. And one of them was in high school because one of my friends had me help him cheat. Because, when you had assignments to draw something sometimes, I drew it for him and they knew it was mine, not his. Right. And then I started crying because I got in trouble for helping him cheat.
That's good to know. That in a pinch, don't do crime with MJ because she's a crybaby snitch.
But yeah.
That's good to know. Good to know.
Yeah, I lie, but then I'll cry if I get caught in the lie.
How about you, Sergio? Let's hear your stories of cheating in school.
Cheating in school? I was usually the person that they cheated on. They cheated from me usually. I was that guy.
Of course you were. That makes so much sense.
I mean, who would that surprise anyone?
Were you good at math?
Was I? Actually, yeah, math was my best subject.
But science?
We didn't have a lot of science classes, actually.
What?
But yeah,
what do you mean?
The ones that I had, I guess I was decent at.
History?
History I was pretty good at.
Okay.
I liked history, though.
Starting to pan out. Right. What else? Art? Were you any good at art?
That was my least favorite subject.
Did you fail PE?
1 year I almost did.
Oh, nerd alert.
Did you guys ever have to do those PE, those like classic like freaks and geek PE type things where you climbed
climb rope?
Yeah.
No, I never did.
We had climb rope 1 year.
I did it in elementary school, but not in...
Yeah, I did in middle school.
Yeah, not in high school or anything like that.
Yeah. But never in high school. I actually failed a semester of PE in high school. My first, and when I was a freshman, but I was not a great student. From maybe 6th grade to 9th grade, I was pretty bad at following rules. But yeah, so I failed the semester, and then and then I aced every year after that.
PE?
Oh, PE.
PE, yeah. I mean, just in general, had like I think in middle school, I think I had a GPA of 0.01 one year,
Jesus Christ.
like one semester.
Did your mom see your report cards?
No, my mom was busy working hard, and I was busy not doing anything.
Didn't you say you used to like intercept the mailman and grab your report
Yeah.
card so that you couldn't catch it or see it?
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and then my mom.
But the school would never call home. That's
well,
what
no
they
one
would
was
do
ever
for-
home.
Oh.
Shit,
Yeah,
my mom's
that makes
working.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I got suspended once, and I got dropped off at the school when I was suspended, and then I just walked around for a while because it was like, all right, I got to kill a couple hours until I can head home. My parents never knew I got suspended.
Your mom, I feel so bad for your mom because she'll find out you got like arrested or something like that too. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll be like, when? It's like 10 years ago.
Yeah. Would she want that stress on it? You're welcome, Mom.
Yeah, exactly.
Less stress in your life, having to deal with me. Just handle my own stuff by myself.
Yeah. I'm learning to be independent, Mom. That's what
Yeah.
you're teaching me.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the reasons I got suspended once was because I would write these little short stories and draw pictures of the people around us. So we'd make fun of like teachers and stuff. And one of the teachers caught me and turned in all my stories. Well, it was my English teacher. And we had these manila folders. And he was like, write whatever you guys want to write. Just write. I'm never going to read your stories. And just keep them in this manila folder. So I would always write these stupid stories and pass them around, and all of us would laugh. And then I, for some reason, kept them in the manila folder instead of just throwing them away. And then he caught on to the fact that I was writing stupid things because everyone would laugh, and then he turned them into the principal, and I got arrested. Or not
You got
arrested.
Arrested.
I got suspended.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was just creating artwork. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just art. I was the art that your teacher would have hated me. I was the art student. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah. What were we talking about? How did we get here?
Murals.
Murals.
Oh yeah. The
Faking
fact
it
that
till you
lied.
make it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
I mean, we've had murals seem to be really difficult as well because I haven't like when I first started that mural on Santa Rosa Avenue, I just like started drawing and then that didn't work. So I was like, okay, I need to grid it out because it looked horrible.
Right.
But I know that some people use projectors, but then I was trying to figure out, okay, if you like how do international artists travel with a huge projector?
Right.
So I asked one of our friends, Mandolin, and she was saying that a lot of people use the Roan method, which is like they have a bunch of squiggly lines, and then they go to Photoshop and put their picture over the squiggly lines, and it ends up being essentially like an organic grid.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
see what you mean.
Have you heard
But-
of that before, Sergio?
No.
Yeah. So they go to the site and put a bunch of squiggly lines, take the picture, bring it home, put it on Photoshop, and then put their image on top of it so you can get an idea of where things are.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's interesting. I don't know if I would ever do it that way.
I don't know what's the pros and cons versus just gridding it.
I don't know. It's just a different
Probably
way
just
to grid
takes
it.
less time than
Right.
grading it.
That makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah,
Mhm.
probably because she's saying that it works really well for people who are doing very large scale work. Because that guy Roan does huge murals, like massive.
But does he use that technique?
Yeah, it's
He
the
does?
Roan method. It's in his method. He's Roan.
Oh.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
Wait, he's Roan or Drew?
Roan. No, that's a different person.
Oh.
Yeah, this guy
Oh,
Roan does.
Roan. Oh,
Roan, he
yeah, I
does
know who
these
you're talking about.
huge murals. So I mean, that might be a way to do it, but that's the hard part because everybody has a different method. A lot of people project, so it's trying to figure out what works for me as a muralist because
Yeah.
I'm not.
But it seems like a projector would be possible in some scenarios.
I know.
Yeah.
I think it'd be the easiest way to go about getting your design up on a wall, but it's
Right.
not the most user friendly.
Right.
Mhm.
And they're expensive. A Mandolin's least expensive one was like $400
Yeah. I feel like
That's actually less than
gridding-
I expected it to be.
for a projector.
Mhm.
If you can figure out a way to grid fast,
Yeah.
That would be. I feel like that would be a good method.
But all like when on Instagram, like if you follow all the bigger artists that are working, because I don't know if I'm sure you guys have noticed, but a lot of the bigger artists that aren't muralists are starting to do murals, like
Audrey
Kawasaki, Amy
Oh, is she doing
Soul,
murals?
yeah.
Hem.
Oh, okay.
But Andrew Hem, I feel like has been doing it for a while. But
Yeah.
Audrey
Long.
Kawasaki, Amy Soul.
But he didn't start off as a muralist, and he
Oh,
even
no?
talks
No.
about it on podcasts about.
Oh,
how,
okay.
I forget which one, but he talks about how he just started getting into murals not that long ago.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And he doesn't tell you like his methods on there or anything.
He said that I think he talked to a couple mural guys, and they were like, either you can grid it, you can project it, or you can like just kind of I forget, there was some other way, and he was like, like just learn how to do murals without relying on those things, and so he ended up going that route.
I would love to be able, because again, I need to have a portfolio of mural work so you can start doing like the mural projects, like the powwows,
Right.
or whenever they have like groups of muralists together, because I feel like that's the way you learn as well. Like you pick stuff up from other people, because I'm just trying to teach myself. I don't know what other people are doing.
Right. I also think that Andrew's work lends itself to like not having to be so
Precise.
Precise.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
exaggerates a lot.
Yeah.
His the faces can be more stylized.
Yeah.
So in that way, him doing murals is probably like he doesn't need to grid it. He just has just roughly get things where they are, and his color work is so good that it'll just shine through.
Yeah. I think the thing is that one of the things that I have to keep in mind, and I think what a lot of people have to keep in mind, is that it's just paint. Like the mural that once I started working on it, it looked horrible, and I just kept adjusting until she looked okay.
Right.
So it's like, regardless, you just have to remember, like, hey, any mistake can be fixed. Just it's paint. You know,
Right.
you can paint over it. So I think that's one of the biggest things, because it's scary to think about when I first. I'm in front of the wall, like I have no idea what I'm doing.
Right.
So it's just like go for it and then figure it out from there.
Yeah, and I think Amanda Lynn talked about how it's weird how when you're working on like a tiny painting, you can nitpick all these little things, but when you're in that big space, it's kind of like freeing in that. It's also like you realize that there's all these little. You can like squeeze in a million little details, but no one's going to consume the mural that close.
Right.
You're going to most likely consume it from the street, driving by or walking by. So you're not going to go in there and be like, wow, look at that little tiny detail. So it helps you cut the fat when it comes to all that stuff, and just, pay attention to the big important things about that piece, which for you specifically, that's such a good thing for you to practice on, because you get stuck in your details all the time.
This new one that we're working on, we're going to be using a scissor lift.
So really?
Yeah, that's going to be, because we're not getting paid for that one, but it's a really good wall.
Oh,
and so they're doing construction, and there's going to be new housing and a park and library and stuff, but the structure that we're painting on is going down in a year, and we just thought it'd be an amazing wall to paint, because it's huge and you're going to get an amazing image.
Yeah. And it's in our neighborhood. So
it's literally across the street.
A decent amount.
Nice. Yeah.
So I had a meeting with the lady and pretended I knew what I was talking about as usual. And she's like, oh, we can pay for the scissor lift. And I'm like, that is awesome, because I was stressing about getting a scissor lift because it's a few $1,000s.
Right.
And so, I mean, we're not getting paid, but it's like, if you get one good mural, which I have a feeling that one's going to be awesome, you can get so much work from that.
Right.
Yeah.
You just for an image alone, or having people drive by, I just think it opens up so many opportunities.
For sure.
And it's going to be really easily visible from.
Yeah, you know where Roseland Hardware
Right there,
store
right
is,
by the
right by Dollar
store.
Tree,
Oh, sure. Yeah.
behind the Dairy Queen. There's like that wall right there, kind of.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be fun. And it'll be experience with a scissor lift, which I don't have.
Yeah.
And because one of the places I
scissor lifts are fun.
Yeah, I've never been on one. I've only been on scaffolding.
Mm-hmm.
But I had reached out to people and I realized that the wall is so huge and I need a scissor lift.
Right.
And I've never used one before.
Right.
So this one will be nice because I won't have the pressure of getting paid from it and saying like, hey, I need this to be perfect because I'm getting money for it.
Right.
But it's going to be less pressure because I'm not, I mean, it's more of just like a fun project.
For sure.
So I'm excited about that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool.
I don't know. I'm just really excited. It's just like, I realized recently that when I was little, and I think I've told this story before, I knew I wanted to be an artist when I was like 5, and I lived in Toronto, and we would take the subway.
12 years ago.
Yeah, like.
Ding. Where's the ding button, Sergio?
My goddamn soundboard turned off. I used it enough.
But yeah, I was like 5, and I would take the.
So that was like 12 years ago. There we go. Thank you.
But I would ride the subway, there would be these huge. There'd be these huge murals, and I'd be like, "Oh my god!" I would get so excited to see them, and I knew that's when I wanted.
There was what murals?
Huge murals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like massive. Like you would just like drive by and see all these huge murals on the side of walls, and when I realized
were they wicked sick,
wicked sick,
wicked smart, wicked cool.
They wicked piss a kid.
Wicked cool.
Yeah.
Is that how Canadians talk? I have no idea. I'm not well traveled, so I just assume that's their accent.
Well, you're going to Canada
by way
this
of
year.
Boston.
Yeah. But I'm assuming that's how they sound. Well, wicked smart Canadians, wicked cool.
Yeah, that's when I realized I wanted to be an artist. And then I kind of forgot about that. I always just thought that it was, that's when I thought I'd be an artist.
Right.
But I realized, like, holy shit, like, maybe my calling is just being a muralist. Because it just felt
it's all the same
right.
shit, right?
Yeah, but it's different. It's like...
I mean, there was something cool about doing that little mural. It was
awesome.
Yeah.
It just felt so good. I don't know how to explain it. It just feels really good to be... And it was, like, raining and, like, not good...
Not the best surface.
Not good surface, not good weather. Like, but it was definitely something that made like something flash.
Right.
And even though I did want to do murals, like this makes me want to do it like 100% more.
Right. I wonder if it's kind of similar to plein air in that.
Right.
That like maybe there's the season for muraling is usually probably like summertime.
Yeah.
And then wintertime you stay indoors and work on paintings or something like that.
It makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Revolves around the sun. Like being available for you.
That's how graffiti was. It's
right.
like graffiti weather and then
right.
And then not.
It's just fun. It's really really fun to do something so big too, because I don't have the room in my studio to do like an 8-foot piece. You know, like so that's really fun as well. And I want to go bigger and bigger and bigger and big as possible. So
do you think the reason you want to go bigger and bigger and bigger is because you're so short? What do you think?
I don't know.
I'm just kidding.
It was funny because we went for a walk today, and Karen, my sister Karen, liked all the little dogs, and I liked all the big dogs. And it's just like I realized I love giving dogs hugs that are huge, like human-sized hugs.
Right.
And she wanted to be able to pick them up and hold them like babies.
Well, your sister seemed like she was into big dogs until we got Mellow, and then she was like, "Oh, that's a whole thing."
Yeah, it's like a human. Like a huge
that you can't control.
No, a huge
fully.
baby human that has a mind of his own. It's like having a massive, very strong toddler that can't talk,
like a Tongan toddler
that can't communicate.
Yeah,
that can communicate a little bit and slobbers a lot.
Yeah, that's 100%.
But he's taking up the size of an adult human.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm very excited about doing murals. I just think it's a very fun thing.
Oh yeah.
And
I know it has been extremely fun on the little one we've done.
Yeah.
And a cool, like, I feel like for kind of just jumping in and trying it, because like I didn't plan on doing. I don't know if I've even said this on the podcast or not, but I didn't plan on being a part of that like little mural thing. But I was like, sure, I'll try it out.
Right.
So yeah, my whole thing was like I just pulled an image off the internet that day and then drew it out and then worked on it and then was like, what should I do for the background now? And then was like, all right, we'll just play around.
Yeah.
But it was extremely fun.
Yeah.
To do. And I've, graffiti kind of was that like outlet for me where I get to be outside and painting and doing that. So mural seems like a huge hole in my heart, which nothing could fill except for murals.
Yeah. Well,
And
I
Jesus.
just think it's. I'm just excited to like get more murals under my belt so that I can start reaching out to even more international places and stuff. Because even we already want to travel. It would be cool to add a mural to that travel,
Right, for sure.
because whether or not it's paid, because I think like even if you go somewhere and they're like, oh, you can paint on our wall, I think I would do that because
Right.
it'd be fun. You're leaving your little mark behind and you're
Yeah.
like, hey, I painted that in
For sure.
wherever, like people are going to Bali, people are going to Singapore and
Yeah.
doing these murals in these places. It's like, I would love to go already. Why not paint a wall while you're there?
Right, for sure.
Yeah, so I'm really excited. I'm excited because it's like it's already the start of 2019, and
Well, not yet.
well,
Tomorrow.
almost tomorrow. Okay,
When
in a
these
few
people are
hours.
listening.
when they listen.
Yeah, but it's like we did this little project at the end of the year, and it's already have got like stuff lined up, and and
Yeah.
I'm excited. I think that this year is going to be a good mural year.
Make 2019 your best year is what I always say.
Yeah. But yeah,
I've
I'm
been
excited.
saying that since 2003.
So yeah, since
I'm like, hey guys,
1986.
make 2019 your best year. And we're finally there, guys. And guess
16
what?
years
You're
from now.
doing it. It looks like you're going to do it. So that's cool.
16 years from now, I got big plans for you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
I'm
you've learned
excited.
one thing today in 2008,
But it's
make
cool.
2009.
It's cool too because I've realized like trying to figure out this is like the first mural obviously, but I really am excited about putting more thought into murals because that's like the way that we shoot models, get references for paintings.
Right.
If you start applying that for murals, you're going to get some amazing murals, like starting to like, take reference shots, like stage photo shoots and stuff, all in the thought of like, I really have this crazy mural in mind. Like, this is the image I want. I'm just like so excited about starting to go in that direction for murals because you're going to get these amazing images that are, I want mural work to catch up with my artwork.
Right.
And I want both of them to be just as good. Like I don't want there to be a difference between the two.
As far as you want your painting, you want your murals to look very similar to your paintings, or you want them to have their own, you know what I mean? Like, would you want them to be equal in quality, but
Yes.
have different kind of things about them? Or would you like
Well,
them to
yeah, I
both-
think that mural just lends itself a little different. It's just going to be different because it's a different surface. But I want it to be just as good in quality as my artwork. I don't want there to be a difference because right now there is a large gap.
For sure.
But I'm just excited to do that and start shooting models with the thoughts of this is becoming a mural.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's
I'm
cool.
just super excited.
Yeah. It was cool seeing you do your mural stuff too, because it was such a like, even though it wasn't at the level I feel like you are in your paintings, you could still see that, I could see the similarities within your mural work as your paintings. Like there's things you just do
Naturally.
naturally that you just kind of, this is how I like things to look, and I think it'll be a quick learning curve.
I think so. I feel like, but also it's like when I become obsessed with something, it's like the same thing with oil paint. Like I became obsessed the minute I started oil painting,
Right.
and I feel like that's like it was a huge push forward right
Right.
after I started oil painting.
Yeah.
Like it was like a jump of like within a year, it looked like a 5-year difference, I think.
Mhm.
And then from there, it's been slow. But
Yeah. Yeah.
like picking up like acrylics versus oil painting,
Right.
it was a huge jump just because it felt right.
Right.
And that's how I'm feeling. That's the same feeling I'm getting with mural work right now. It like feels right, which makes me obsessed with it, which makes me like, I woke up at 5 a.m. this morning just like thinking about things. And it's like, I just can't stop thinking about it.
Drug addict.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I totally understand it because I get obsessed with shit as well. Do you get that way, Serge? I don't know. I mean, because you just got into plein air, right?
What's
like,
that?
You've been doing plein air not for like super long, but I know it seemed like you dived headfirst into that.
Well, I've been doing them both kind of almost, like the fine art stuff, doing my painting of like female figures in landscape painting almost as long as each other, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I got into plein air paint. Like my very first plein air events were back in 2009, and that's when I first started doing more fine art stuff. But that was all just kind of on the side of what I was doing with concept art at the time. So, yeah, I kind of built them all up together at the same time, actually.
That's cool.
For some reason, I thought you like started doing plein air to like figure out how to do backgrounds for your figure work.
Oh, it started off as more doing it for my concept artwork.
Oh, for your concept artwork.
Yeah. But I didn't really do a lot of landscape painting in school.
Right.
When I was doing a lot of figurative work in school, that was almost all I was doing.
Did they ever teach anything like that? Like had a plein air class?
They had some, but I never got a chance to take any of them. Yeah, I didn't take any landscape painting classes in school.
Where do you think that you would be in a very different place if you hadn't gone to school? Like, as far as like where you are in your art career and...
Yeah, I think I'm one of those people who had to go to school to see it. Like, to be able to see an example of it.
Or else he'd be dead or in prison.
With the Dementors.
Flipping burgers in Coney Island.
Just a completely different Sergio. He's got like hella tattoos and wearing like leather vest with no undershirt.
So many tattooed teardrops on that face. But somehow happier. You know? Happier.
I have a Coney dog, my guy.
My guy. Yeah, that's crazy. I think about that, but yeah, it would be interesting to see like in just an alternate timeline where Sergio would have ended up if he hadn't gone to school.
Right.
I mean, I'm assuming you would still have done art, or like maybe you would have just been drawing in a sketchbook or something.
I don't think it would be my career if I didn't go to school.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think so.
He'd probably be a doctor or a lawyer.
Probably. Thinking? Actually, yeah, I probably would have gone into some sort of medical field.
Really?
Yeah, because that's when I was a little kid, I used to look at, because my mom was a home health nurse, and so she had all these books of like medical illustrations and stuff like that. And I didn't really think of it as like, oh, I could do medical illustration, because I didn't even know that was a thing when you're a kid.
Right.
But I would always look at that and be kind of really into all the different things. Like I'd look at anatomy and like be thinking about like, oh, that I never heard of that disease or whatever. Just like looking at stuff like that. It's just nerdy about medical things.
Good thing you didn't, because you'd be poor right now, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Doctors don't make that much money, is what I hear.
When did you decide to go into art? Like, was it right around like high school, trying to figure out what direction to go?
Pretty much, yeah. When I was in high school, I decided that I wanted to go into art school.
Was it based off of the reward, you know, when you're in school and you're the kid that can draw, there's like a huge
Did you win that? Did you win like most artistic?
No, I was
Josh and I did.
Well, not necessarily.
You didn't win most artistic?
No, well, they wanted to take my picture to be most artistic.
But they didn't give it to you because you
but
didn't want to
then-
take a picture.
Yeah, so they just didn't have that category in the yearbook because the lady was like, "Can I take a picture?" And I'm like, "No, I'm too artsy for this."
I got most artistic.
But I would have been. I could have been.
Was
I
did
could have
they
thrown
have
this
that
football over the
at
mountain.
your high school? Sergio?
They probably did, but I finished school at Pioneer High when I was going to Montgomery for 3 years. So by the time I went to the other school,
That
nobody even knew
sucks.
who I was. so.
Yeah, that sucks.
That's a good move. To always switch out at the last.
On senior year, that sucks.
Can you
It's
be
the worst.
honest? Was it because you were getting picked on, Sergio, or was it because of rival gang?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Greasers versus jocks.
Yeah, and it got too dangerous, so they're like, "We got to get you out of here."
That was before I got all the face tattoos.
Yeah, if you stayed in there for that last year, that fourth year, you would have for sure been dead or in prison.
Yeah. But
But
at least
you-
I would have made it to the yearbook.
Yeah, that's true.
Josh, you never had an alternative career in mind, right? You always thought art.
I was, art or like maybe like astrophysicist or like.
Oh, yeah. No, your other career was football. It was like forever. You guys saw like you had like a football career,
No, I just enjoyed playing football.
right? But you got like you were taking it seriously.
But I take everything serious. I do.
Yeah.
I'm super competitive. I'm a
Right.
very competitive human being. So if I'm playing a sport, then I'm gonna like play to the fullest.
Yeah,
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
yeah, because you got like a full ride to Stanford and like
Well, I didn't get a full ride to
Like, you
stand.
got
We were
offered.
communicating
right.
back and forth.
Yeah.
But yeah, but
But then you just there was nothing else you
But in
wanted to do.
MJ's
though.
lie world, you got a full ride to Stanford.
yeah, but it's just like like I just didn't see that as like an option.
Yeah,
So all my like counselors and things were trying to like help me guide me that way, and I was like, no thanks.
yeah.
uh,
But you never had another career as like an option, right? Like you never thought about.
no, I never thought about anything like that.
Were you even
we've
thinking
dis-
that much about careers back then?
Well, I just always wanted to do art.
Yeah,
Yeah, like ever since I could remember, I've always wanted to do art, and
Yeah.
that was like one of the things I remember when talking to like coaches about schools to play football. It was always like, I wonder like how good is their art program.
right.
I remember one of my art teachers, she was like, "You should go to UCLA. They have a really good art program there." And I was like, "Nah."
Yeah.
But I didn't want to play football. I knew I didn't because I played in high school and I could feel my body breaking down then.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
oh, this
Yeah.
is not good. Like my body's aching and I'm, like
You're
it hurts to get out of
17,
bed.
18,
And yeah,
Yeah.
I wasn't 18 yet. I graduated when I was 17, but it's
Yeah.
like, it would take me a while to get out of bed,
Jeez.
and things like that. And
I think that's just athletes in general. It's just like
yeah. And so I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
yeah,
And I'm pretty happy I didn't.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never looked at it as a career. It was more like other people were hoping it for me.
Right.
Okay.
Well,
for
because
me-
you had like friends and like, don't you have like friends and cousins that would play for the NFL
Or
or like
not for
people
the
that
NFL.
you played against or something?
There's been, yeah. I mean, I played against Kaepernick from the 40.
Didn't you say you beat him or something?
Well, I tackled him twice. He was the quarterback, and I sacked him twice. But their team sucked at the time. So it was
Yeah.
easy. But yeah, I mean,
We discussed recently that it would have been fun if you had become like a cook, right? Like an actual like chef that
right.
would have been like a fun alternative.
Yeah.
Because it's something that we're obsessed with, like Top Chef.
Right.
But it's another art form. It's just another way
It's
to be
another
creative.
really hard way to make a living. Too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's like it's also I think that it might have been easier than art because it's like if
Right.
you I think
Yeah,
but
maybe.
easier to make a name for yourself probably because it's a little less competitive than I think the art world is.
I don't.
I don't know if
that's
it
true,
is.
but
You
I
don't think so?
I think there's more outlets.
Yeah.
More people go and eat food every day than buy artwork. So
I think there's more opportunity.
yeah, you have more opportunities. So you don't need to. I don't think you have to compete that hard.
But the hard thing
you
about
just have
being
to be consistently good.
But it's the hours. Like
Yeah.
it's a crazy work schedule to be a chef.
Yeah, I think
like a well-known, renowned chef.
Yeah, or like even being like a carpenter would be cool or something like that, because it's a creative outlet that you get to make something, but it's also seems like you can make a living wage doing it.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's like I started like I one of your other people, was it Corey? Which one was the one that was an architect?
Architect. Oh, that was
Patrick.
Yeah, Patrick Matthews.
Yeah. That's kind of like
right.
what I was like. I went to the JC and started my, like when I went and picked my classes, it was towards an architect career because, you want your parents to get off your back. And,
right.
But as I took those classes, I realized that first of all, I don't mind math, but I wasn't good at like physics. And you realize it's super competitive and it's hard for you to get a name for yourself as an architect. So it's like, why am I going to struggle in this thing I don't like?
Right.
Where I can struggle in this thing I do like.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I remember that was another thing people threw my way because like, oh, you get to draw with architecture.
Yeah.
It's like just straight lines and circles.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, every once in a while, I think in one class you got to draw like the front of a house. And I was like, this is the funnest, I guess, but then you have to do those drafting ones where it's like, that line is straight.
Right.
It needs to be straighter.
Right.
And it's confusing. And it just wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah. I think one of the big things for me was, growing up the way I grew up is like, I can always have a pencil, but like if I was trying to be into woodworking, it's like I would have to have tools for that.
That's tough,
right.
Yeah.
And financially, my family wasn't going to invest any of that shit for me.
You never had wood shop at your school?
We did, but in high school we did.
Yeah.
I just never took it. I wish I did. But who knows? Maybe I wouldn't be an artist anymore or something. Maybe like, oh, this is kind of
cool.
Yeah,
that's always the thing. Like you never
doing
know.
a woodworking podcast at this point.
Yeah, sitting
hey,
right
there's
next to
those woodworking YouTube accounts.
Yeah,
can get huge.
Cool. All right, yeah, take a pee. We'll take a break and return right after this message. Bye. All right.
Speaking of Instagram, our little art group seems to be like losing steam.
Oh, I know.
It happens.
Yeah. Everyone's like, I'm done with Instagram. Or like everyone's like stressing out about Instagram.
Yeah. I think it's like you have to, I think Instagram is one of those things that you just have to not rely on, which is hard. But it's like you have to.
Why did they do something weird recently?
Well, it's just the same thing. Everyone's mad about the algorithm. Everyone's losing followers.
Not everyone.
Part. Yeah, except for Josh, who's gaining like 20,000 followers in 5 months. But it's like I think that you're being very much. It's like everything. Like you're adding to your stories. You're being yourself. You're posting consistently. Like that's hard. It's hard for artists to post consistently.
Are you still doing your secret technique?
I am.
Still top secret.
It's not top secret. I don't even know if it's real anymore. I could talk about it now.
Okay.
So I've had this theory about Instagram and finding followers, and people can try it out if they want.
See if it works for them.
Yeah. Where my idea was, if you go and watch any YouTube video about how to gain followers right this second, they will all tell you the exact same thing, which is post consistently. Post one or two times a day. What else do they say? I don't know. They say they always say the same shit. So my idea is that I would go the opposite, try to go the opposite route and the idea being is that I think that the algorithm knows when, like, if you post the same time every day, like the peak of that was like another big one. Post consistently every day.
Oh, right. Yeah.
At the same time.
Look at your insights and see when your followers are most online and posting.
Yeah. And so what I've been doing is kind of posting whenever I feel like it. I mean, I do consistently do lunch doodles.
Right.
But that's because I take lunch roughly around the same time every day.
Right.
Josh thinks that he's not doing it, but he's doing exactly what they're saying. He's posting consistently. He's always uploading to stories.
Yeah.
I think the only thing
Well, I
is
use stories a lot.
Yeah, which is what they say. They say you need to post to stories, post consistently, always have new stuff.
But I
which you
don't
do.
post consistently.
Yeah, you do.
If you look at my feed, like if you go through my feed, it'll say like posted whatever 2 days ago, and then if you look at the next one, it'll say like posted a week ago. If you look, there's sometimes it's like a 4-week gap. If you pay attention to what time I post, I'll post at like 2:00 in the morning if I want to. Like if I have something, if I'm working late into the night and I'm happy with where I'm at, I'll take a picture of it and post it then. I'll post. I do comment back on everyone's comment.
Right.
But I tried to post. I won't post in my feed unless I think it's something that is good.
Yeah.
I won't, or the podcast stuff, which gets no love, but I don't care. I always log out of my Instagram whenever I'm not using it because I don't want them to think I'm on it. But the whole concept of what I was trying to do was trying to make it seem like I was slowly pulling away from Instagram, that I wasn't trying to post every day at this time to get the attention, that I was trying to post whenever I felt like it because I don't care that much, and post whatever day I feel like, because I don't want the algorithm or whatever to see that I'm trying really hard to get their attention and to do the right steps. So my idea was like, if I tweak what I'm doing and just kind of do it however I feel like, and not feeling so compelled to be consistent. And, I do share a lot, especially like lunch doodle stuff is pretty much.
I think that's huge though. I think if your stories are consistent, like there's some people that don't post much, but every single day they're posting multiple to their stories.
Well, that's one of the great things about the story. That's one of the things I love about the Instagram story is that people will get kind of who I am through my stories. They see that like I doodle on my lunch break. Yeah. I get drunk on the weekends. I have a cat and a dog. And those things I never share on my feed.
Right.
So that's like the great thing about that is like it deletes after an hour. So I have no like I don't do the stories because it's good for me. I just enjoy doing that. Right. So that just works out for me. And I think that's important
because I think what ends up happening is that there's very few people that are doing it that way. There's I follow like I think 500 people, and I'd say maybe 3 of those are like that. Like for the most people are either on their stories writing new posts, like go to this new post that I just posted. There's like so many people doing that.
They're not putting original content.
No, nobody is I'm not getting to know you through your stories, which is really important. That's how people come and check on you or see let's see what this person's up to.
Right. For
and
sure.
it's like, that's huge. And as an artist, it's even more important because you're trying to sell yourself as well.
Right.
So I think that's where, that's one of your strengths. It's one of the things you've been doing good.
But the whole thing ties into like what I was trying to do was just try to enjoy Instagram. That's the thing is like every artist is pissed off at Instagram, but it's like if maybe just like use it how you want to use it, and hopefully it pays off.
Right.
And that's kind of the direction I was going. And I didn't go into it thinking about the anti-algorithm thought. I went into it thinking I want to change how I'm using Instagram, and I noticed that it was paying off for me. Yeah, I'm like, that's weird because I'm not doing what they're telling me to do. I'm doing what I'm trying. So then I started playing around with it more and seeing how far I could push it, and everything that I think I was doing to kind of make it anti-algorithm seemed to help me more. And I was like, that's so weird that. So then that's when I came up with that weird theory. I called it like the drug addiction theory. Like we're addicted to Instagram, and they're a drug dealer.
They're giving you a little.
And I'm the guy trying to get clean, and so they're trying to give me discounts on the drug. They're trying to reward me more so that I don't get clean.
Right.
And so that they can keep a consistent customer.
Yeah.
And that was my theory of like, they know they have us hooked because we're coming back to them every day, posting at the exact same time every day, trying to get their attention every day. And if you start saying like, fuck that, I'm going to just kind of do my own thing, and maybe I'll post today, maybe I won't. Then all of a sudden they're like, hey, how come you don't visit us anymore? Let me reward you with followers. Let me reward you by putting you on the Explore page all the time. And those things seem to like happen naturally. And I was like, this is so weird. And that's why I started coming up with that weird theory of like, do the opposite of what everyone's telling you to do. Because they're not going to reward you for showing up every day. They're going to reward you for pulling away from them because they need you.
Right. I mean, it's working for you. One of Josh's last drawings got, I think it's almost at 12,000 likes.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, it works, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. All I know is that's what I'm doing and it's working for me.
Yeah.
You know? And I didn't share it before because I was like, this might sound super stupid to people, but no, I don't care.
Well, hey, if somebody...
Another waiting to dry exclusive.
If somebody tries it and then they start blowing up, then they have you to thank.
Yeah, I would love to hear any feedback. If people try this and it's starting to work, that'd be great. That would be, great to hear any kind of feedback. Or if they tried and it doesn't work at all, keep it to yourself. My religion works for me. But yeah, I don't know.
I tried a little bit, but I never fully committed to it, so it didn't work for me.
You gotta take the leap of faith, Sergio. Man shall not walk by bread alone, but by.
Well, for me,
Men should not walk with bread on their shoes.
For me, like checking in on yours, like even I get excited because it's like I don't spend the day with you. Like we're at our work, so it's like like I get to see what your sketchbook is because I don't get to see it otherwise. Like unless you come and show me, but we don't make an effort to share our sketchbooks every day.
Right.
So it's like I can just imagine somebody who's not in your day-to-day life getting excited because you're sharing. But that's the thing. Like I don't think there's many artists drawing something new every single day.
Right.
Like
That's
it's
true.
like a lot of us are just working on maybe one project, like one painting, and it's like how many times can you show that one painting?
Right.
So I think that's also because it's like stories get boring if it's like the same thing over and over.
Right.
You know? So it's like that I think alone, just you working in your sketchbook every day and sharing that gets people excited.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah, it's funny when people people will say if MJ comments on my stuff, they're like, don't you guys live with each other?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, who cares? Leave us alone.
Right.
Mind your business. Don't read comments, weirdo.
But it's like we live with each other, but we have our separate studios and we work all day. So we only see each other a little bit.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, we have like dinner together.
Exactly. We see each other right when you get home.
Yeah.
We say hi.
And then we go to our
hang out in our studios. And then we call it winter. I usually call it in earlier because it starts getting freezing out there.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. We only spend like probably like 5 or 6 hours together during a work week.
Yeah. And the summertime, especially if we're cramming for shows, it's like barely any time because we're in there and it's still warm out, so I can stay in my studio till like 11 at night, and then we're supposed to be at bed by 11. So it's like, let me try to squeeze in some food and go to bed or something.
It works out really well because if you think about it, if you had like a different relationship, that other person might feel neglected.
Yeah.
So it's like unless you're in a relationship with somebody that has like a similar work schedule, it could cause issues.
Right.
Because you don't have time for them. Like you have to paint.
Right.
So it's probably a little hard for people to understand that or get used to at least.
For sure.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, at the same time, people should try to pick up a hobby or something. Even if you're not an artist, it's like, how much of someone can you get, really? Like, I spend more time with you than anyone, probably. Me specifically, because I hate talking to people at my job. So I don't even spend that much time with people at work.
You have that one Republican guy you can talk to.
Yeah, I probably talk to him more than anyone at work. But yeah, so I talk to you more than anyone, and that's plenty.
Yeah.
You know, especially as an artist. And then we have this podcast. So
Yeah.
I know that's a nice thing. You get to talk to people, and it's probably good for like the other artists who don't get to talk to other people very much.
Yeah, and we hang out on the weekends.
Yeah.
Do you have that issue, Sergio? Like, with like girlfriends or anything like that? Or anything like that?
Yeah.
Where
they feel neglected.
Yeah, they feel neglected because you have to paint a bunch.
Well, the thing that worked out with me and my ex was she'd have to go to bed really early for her job, like to wake up at a decent time. So yeah, I would hang out with her in the evening in between dinner and her bedtime. So then from there, I could just go to my studio and work as long as I want to.
Did you tuck her in bed? Tuck her into her bed?
Exactly.
That might have
kiss on the cheek.
That might have gotten a little difficult if you were to move in together. I don't know if you guys live together, but
No.
I would think that if you moved in together, that schedule might have clashed. Because I had,
Unless she's a
I don't
deep
know,
sleeper.
maybe because my old coworker, she had a weird schedule where she would go to bed early because she had to be up early, and then her boyfriend would come late, so they would like see each other for like 30 minutes a day. But it would create issues. Like it wasn't ideal.
Yeah,
So
because you have to go shopping with people for groceries and things like that. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, we're out of milk and no one has bought milk.
So you just feel like you're kind of living. It ends up being almost just a roommate.
Right.
Yeah, but it works for us.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I know. I don't know. I remember John Wentz, he was talking to us once and he was like, dude, you guys are so lucky. I mean, he has Delphine now. So he has an artist who kind of
And they
understands-
share a studio, I think. So
Yeah.
he's able to spend like all day with them.
Right.
But he was like, it's so tough to have a relationship with someone that's not an artist. And I was like, but have you had one with an artist? Maybe he'll talk differently next time we see him.
I don't think so. I mean, he moved to France for Delphine.
Yeah. But yeah, I think there is something lucky about that sometimes, you know, having someone that understands what you're so passionate about. But it's funny too, because if people find out we're both artists, they're always like, ooh, that must be
Tough.
like tough or like spicy or especially because MJ's Latin, they'll say like mucha caliente. What they usually say, I think.
Yeah, that's not what they say.
I put on my resume that I speak Spanish, by the way. I have mucha caliente.
Ay caramba.
La biblioteca. But yeah. Have you ever been in a relationship with an artist, Sergio?
I haven't. No.
Try it out.
I'll let you know how it goes.
Oh, try it out.
No, a lot of artists don't like to date other artists too. I've heard that.
Who I feel like the petri dish known as the San Francisco art scene is.
Well, maybe that. Yeah.
Kind
I
of.
don't
I think that one.
Well, I say they try it out and don't like it, and then like don't date another artist.
I think it
one
ends
more
up
too.
working out for some people who like they'll date somebody who pays the bills, and then
Yeah.
that person's able to paint, so
Right.
that works out.
Yeah, like if someone has a better job
Yeah.
that can sustain the family, then the other person can like take care of, be like the stay-at-home parent
Yeah.
and also pursue this passion on the side.
Yeah.
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 I mean, that's a good system.
I mean, it's tough. It's tough to try and get to people who want to have this difficult art career.
Yeah. That's one of the
Because-
frustrating things.
Because
for
we
sure.
both want to do art full time, but we're both stuck doing art part time,
Yeah.
or doing art full time, but not having time for anything else
Right.
besides our full time jobs in art.
Yeah. And it's one of those things too where, you know, in that other scenario, both people seem to win, you know, because the person that has a serious career that they wanted to pursue, they get to pursue it, you know, whether it be the mom or the dad of the family or whatever. And then the person who's the artist, they get to pursue their passion while staying at home and taking care of the kids, but they get to both kind of, where for us, it's almost like if we went that route, it would feel more selfish or more unfair, you know, like why is my art why do I get to stay at home while the other one works, when we both want the same thing. So for us, it's like we're working together as a team, trying to both get to a place where we both can jump off of our job and be like, yay.
Yeah. It's tough.
Yeah.
That's where it's tough. But I mean, it's possible. We do have people that we can point to that are doing it.
For sure.
It's like, hey, it's not impossible. It's just hard work.
Yeah. I think the mural thing too will be a big,
I hope so.
seems to
think
be a
that,
big,
the more
potential.
the more, and that's another thing that's exciting is like the more you like, there's people that get like 50 grand for a mural, and if you get one of those, I'm set. Like you're good for the year. Forever rich.
Yeah, it's like the movie Blank Check. He gets $1 million. He's like, I'm gonna buy a mansion, pool, and all these things. It's like you should have wrote a bigger check, buddy.
Even in the 90s, it wasn't that much.
You're not buying a mansion for $1 million. But
yeah.
Once we do that, then we can do the 80s freeze frame jump. And freeze and roll credit, which meant we both get to quit our jobs.
Exactly.
I always visualize that, going to work and telling them that.
We should totally do it like an 80s movie. Is that how you visualize it?
No.
They're like, MJ, get back to work. And you're like, never coming back to work. And we're like, yeah. Jump in the air. Oh, that'd be so perfect.
I don't hate my job though, so it's not like
But in your scenario, in your head, I feel like you should write it like they're evil and you're good. Like you're the
hero.
You're the hero in the story.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. Fuck you, I'm out.
Yeah, so I guess they're just saying we should sell weed.
Do you guys feel like you're getting closer to being independent?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough. We're in
compared to where you were last year to now. Do you feel like it?
Yeah, I think that we have some debt to take care of, but I think after we have that debt cleared, then we have a couple Josh needs a couple a utility van so that we can pick up art supplies and wood stuff.
Yeah.
But I think that my thought is within the next 3 to 5 years, we're hoping to have enough saved so that we can.
Yeah, I think that's the kind of around the window of.
Yeah, we're planning it 3 to 5 years. I mean, it'd be amazing if it happened sooner. You never know where murals will take you, or if you get offered a good show that just makes your career go in a certain direction. But we're not trying to be rolling in the dough. We just want to pay our bills and trying to make it so that our bills are manageable.
Yeah. And just, it's a lot of little things too.
Like buying a printer for the house.
Yeah. Buying
selling merchandise.
Yeah. So we're buying we bought a printer so we can do our own prints, which saves cost. Yeah, we own our house, so our mortgage is set. And even already, I feel like
paying off my car.
That's saving us a ton of money in a
I'm
weird
sure,
way.
yeah.
So it's little things that we're trying to do smart,
bunch of little moves.
Getting our house fixed and
for us it's almost like there's no, I mean, we have no control over the success of our art in a weird way. We can just try to make the best paintings and do the things like social media and things like that to hopefully gain more and more attention and hype behind our art, but that's still kind of out of our control in a bit in some ways, but the financial aspect as far as bills and things like that, and kind of setting us up so that our art creating is cheaper in in general, that's also seems to be things even MJ working with Gamblin, so they supply her with art supplies, which is great. So that saves a ton of money if you're an artist.
Right.
I make wood panels for work, so that saves us a ton of money as far as buying wood panels and those kind of things. And
I just think that once we're able to focus fully on our art careers, it makes it easier to. I mean, it's still a struggle, I'm sure. It's always going to be a struggle.
Yeah.
But I think that you just allow yourself to focus more on like marketing or, even if I were to take out, like right now, like I know a lot of artists make most of their money doing commissions.
Right.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't focus on taking all these commissions if I have shows to paint for because I only have a certain allotted amount of time.
Yeah.
So once we're able to make that jump, then I do have time for commissions, and that's more like the not so fun part of it, but making money to pay the bills, and then I get the time to, and then you don't have like, you can take time to go to LA and drive and do a shoot. Like I don't have to ask for time off of work. I don't have to. Stuff that kind of hinders you from moving forward. Like if I get murals, I have to ask for the time off to go get that, to go paint that mural. I wouldn't have to do that. You know, like you can just take off, you know? So it just gives you more options. Yeah.
More freedom.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the goal.
Yeah. Or if I want to just like meditate for a week.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know what I mean? I'm probably going to do that once I become a full-time artist. I'm probably going to meditate for a week for like so many times.
Surefire money-making scheme.
Yeah, but I mean, I have a lot planned. There's a lot of stuff I need and want to do, but it's just a matter, like time is always the hard thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think that we're on a good track. It's hard when you want it so bad. Yeah. And it feels like you've been working on it for so long.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. You can get impatient some days, especially if you have a shitty work day or work week. You're just like, fuck, I need to become a full-time artist tomorrow.
Yeah. It just feels like it's taking so long.
But yeah, it's just the grind. But yeah, I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
We're on our way.
Do you have any big goals for yourself, Sergio?
For coming up now, or just just in general?
Yeah, just long term.
I mean, I definitely am working on ways to get that money coming in more consistently. So, I don't know about long term goals so much, but definitely next year, as soon as I can, I'm going to try and get some sort of online teaching thing going, and from there, try and take that into doing more real life teaching as well. So I have a plein air painting workshop that I talked to with this school in Healdsburg. So that's supposed to be happening sometime in the spring.
Nice.
So, I feel like for me at this point, getting into teaching more will be a good way for me to get some more money coming into my art business.
For sure.
So from there, and also probably just doing more working outside a little bit of the gallery scene, because I've just been kind of not that into the gallery scene as much as I was before. So just trying to get to a point where galleries are trying to come to me a bit more than the other way around. So I think being more successful independent of galleries ironically makes you more
sought out.
Like lucrative to galleries.
Right.
So I would say that's like my 2019
goals.
Yeah, what I'm hoping to achieve in 2019.
Have you thought of reaching out to the JC and checking out what they have to offer as far as like teaching stuff?
I haven't, but
it might not be a bad idea, because when I went to the JC and took art classes, they only, like, one teacher has like 2 classes a week. So it's not like a full time, like, you're not spending Monday through Friday there. You know, it's like you might have like a couple classes. I don't know how heavy that is, but it might not be hard to approach them and say, hey, do you guys want to do like a plein air class? Right.
I think they do workshops through the JC, and that might not be a bad idea, not to be like a staff member.
Right.
I don't really want to be a staff member of any art school, really. I'd rather keep that part of it as independent as possible. But yeah, I am looking at trying to get more workshops, just weekend stuff going, because that would be just easier for me to do it that way instead.
That's cool.
So yeah, that's more or less what I want to.
So teaching is a big direction for this next year.
Yeah, at least figuring out if it's a direction I really want to go.
Right,
Right.
just giving it a try.
Yeah.
Try it out.
I would not be a good teacher.
Yeah, I would be the worst. If you wouldn't be good, I would be horrible.
What would you think would be your main frustration?
That's stupid as fuck.
Yeah, Josh just ripping like paintbrushes out of people's
Yeah.
hands and chopping them in half.
Just being like, repaint it. That shit sucks.
Yeah.
That shit sucks. No.
I feel like I've had teachers like that before, and some people appreciate it when they're like that.
Yeah, but they probably nowadays would probably not last long in this,
Yeah, that's true.
You'd probably be like, that teacher said my painting fucking sucked. Was his exact words. Yeah, that's because that shit did. That'd be my response. And then they'd be like, probably not anymore because they're in kindergarten.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
My teacher is problematic.
I did not. I did a little bit of teaching for a couple years, like an after school program, and it was horrible. The problem is that I was feeling like I was wasting my time trying to teach, and I didn't have the time to paint.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it would be different if I was painting full time and then teaching a little bit. I
Yeah.
might feel differently about it, but I was teaching young girls who already, they were like in an after school program, like I'm assuming because their parents put them in it. They didn't have like a passion for it. Some of them did, some of them didn't. But I just felt like I was kind of like their babysitter, which
Yeah.
isn't the same.
Well, you should have taught them how to like smoke cigarettes and kiss boys.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Save some,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be different trying to teach somebody who's actually interested, though. That might be like a completely different
I think that would be a
experience.
huge difference.
Yeah.
Humongous is my guess.
Yeah,
Probably
the biggest difference.
the biggest difference in teaching someone.
Yeah, that might be.
That's
that
my
might,
teachers.
That might
It'd be
be.
a Samoan toddler size difference.
Yeah,
That wouldn't be too bad, probably.
for sure. Yeah. I still wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah.
I just know how my brain works and it would hurt all the time. I don't enjoy teaching people things at all. It's not for me. But yeah.
That's true.
It's hard enough to get them to answer your questions on Instagram.
Well, I answer questions. I just won't follow you because you said follow me back.
Right.
No, thank you. Now I answer all the questions when it comes to that stuff. But yeah, but that's different, right? It's
Yeah, totally.
It's like what kind of brush you use. I can answer that really quick. They're like, how did you do that? I'm like, I don't know. Fucking do it, man. I don't know. I didn't learn. The way I learned things, there was like no formal teaching. So I have no technical knowledge I can pass on of like,
Right.
what my techniques are. I'm just like, I do it this way. And then someone will be like, oh, that's kind of, I'm like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called. I just do it. Like there's some things I've learned. So I'm like, okay, I know I do that.
Yeah.
But, for the most part, I might say it's called this. And then later on, someone's like, that's not what that is. I'm like, well, I didn't know. Okay. So I apologize.
You should you see my time lapses, just copy those.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's how I learned was I would look at how people painted things and try to figure out how they did it.
Yeah.
Or watch videos of how people are painting. Like, oh, look at like a pen they're using and try to figure out, go to the art store and try to see what pen looks similar to it.
Right.
Or things like that. It was always like, this looks kind of like the thing that those people are using that I like. And let me try it out and see how it works. But
I just think it'd be weird to try and to come up with curriculum. It's
Yeah.
like today
That's the weird part.
we are painting a girl with pink hair. And then it'd just be like, okay, and then tomorrow we'll paint her with blue hair.
I mean, it seems like people probably start off by painting like spheres and cones.
That would drive
and
me crazy.
cylinders, and then
Well, that's why I want to start doing people's workshops to see what are you guys doing, because
Right.
it'd give me an idea of like, okay, It's like whenever you see people doing workshops, they're usually working from a live model. It seems like they have like a hired model, and everybody is just kind of like talking and going through.
Right.
It definitely seems like a good route to go, just in general.
Yeah.
Who was it, Judson, that spoke highly of like being like taught privately by one artist for like a week helped him more than
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that was Judson.
I know you go in a lot of workshops, right? A decent amount.
Yeah, I guess
More
a
than
decent.
us, I guess. More than zero. I should say.
Exactly.
They're expensive.
They can be.
Like the ones that I've wanted to do have been like $400 or $500 for like 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then they're always weekdays, so I have to take off the time off of work and then pay. So I'm paying like twice.
Well, you have vacation time, so
Yeah, but I'm using it. And it's currency.
okay.
But I do want to do it. I think it'd be super helpful for me to do some workshops.
Yeah.
Do you have anyone in mind that?
I really want to do Emilio's.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And
He'd probably be a good guy to learn from, I would think.
Yeah, I really want to do his. And then there was there's been a few, like, I don't know if Jeremy Lipkin doesn't do them, do they?
He does, yeah. I
Yeah.
think he does mostly private workshops down in his studio.
That'd be awesome. You know, like
Down south.
just people
I didn't
that
know
are.
you were a millionaire.
I know.
Go on.
Just like I can't think off the top of my head who's doing them, but just people that are much better than me to figure out how they're going about their.
Yeah.
Well, once
Fair
you get
stuff.
that mural money, you can take all the workshops
true.
you want.
Mm-hmm.
Mural monies. Nice.
Yeah.
I think we
That's cool.
should we do we have anything else to talk about before we start wrapping this be up?
Our what do you call it? Our raffle is coming to an
right.
end.
Yeah, our raffle is coming to an end. It was pretty good success, I would say. We got like way more
Reviews.
than we had before.
That's
we
For
awesome.
did
sure.
this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we really appreciate everyone that did it, and everyone that didn't, how dare you?
Definitely continue to review because that is the way
Yeah.
to grow a podcast.
Yeah. We do appreciate your reviews, even if we're not giving you a painting.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we're gonna do this maybe once a year or something. I don't know. We'll figure something out.
We'll
But
see.
Maybe we'll try it again.
Did you guys talk about your number one fan who got the?
Oh yeah! Holy shit!
Yeah. Shout out to Paul Day Art.
Yeah, shout out.
I've been
Seriously.
talking about that to everybody who will listen.
Yeah, that was super cool.
I know. That's amazing.
I'm not the biggest like holiday.
Like gift giver, receiver.
Yeah, I'm a Scrooge McDuck in a way.
If you listen to episode 50, you heard that story.
but yeah, one of our listeners who is, I would like to deem our number one listener.
Challenge to try and beat
Challenge,
him.
yeah. Feel free to take the title, but he's our number one fan as of right now. And his girlfriend, his girlfriend wanted to buy him merch of Waiting to Dry stuff, but our lazy asses haven't.
We're still working on something.
Yeah, haven't done anything. So she ended up like doing like it looked like hand embroidered stuff, which is crazy.
Right.
And she had a shirt made, and then one of those, I don't know what they're called. People make art of it, but it's like a
Circle wooden thing,
like a
Yeah.
some sort of.
Yeah, what are those called? I mean, it's
I just
embroidery,
called
but
it's called a circle wooden thing with cloth in it. You guys not listening?
sorry, I'm not hip to the jargon.
That's embroidered talk.
It's a different podcast.
Yeah, that's my other podcast. But yeah, it was super awesome. It made my day.
Yeah.
I think he
It made
posted it.
my day, and this isn't even a podcast.
Yeah,
I was super excited about it.
yeah, super cool.
You guys should hire her to do your merch.
She's just hand embroidering all our
Every
merch.
single one.
It hurts my fingers. Like, just keep doing it.
You should have her make like a huge Waiting to Dry quilt. Like, every like handcrafted
Make a flag.
thing.
Waiting to Dry flag.
Just like knitted hats, mittens.
We're asking so much now. But yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, it was
we
super
posted it on our
cool.
thing. If you guys want to check it out, it's on our Waiting to Dry page.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
on there.
Yeah. But yeah, super cool. Shout out to both of them.
Yeah.
Super keeper girlfriend.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really cool for me.
Yeah, I loved it.
Too.
Yeah.
I know. I don't know what you were like super busy the day it happened because I was like sending you stuff and I think you were out painting or something, but you did not
might have been.
respond for the longest time. But you're usually pretty quick on that stuff.
Yeah. I forget what I was
This
doing.
searcher doesn't give a shit.
No, it wasn't until you sent me that text, and I didn't even see your text until like an hour later or something, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then, because Plague of Crows sent me a message online too. He was referencing that, but not in a roundabout way. So I didn't know what he was talking about. It was just,
Right.
like, I'm going to make my own Wayne to Dry merch now too. I'm like, all right, go ahead and do it. I don't know what you're talking about, but okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Cool to see that. Yeah, this year's been super awesome. I mean,
It has been, yeah.
the last day of 2018, we're about to maybe party it up after this.
With some hardcore game night.
Yeah, or something. But yeah, super fun podcast started this year. I think I can't remember when the first episode dropped, but early January.
Yeah.
We were last
I think a
year,
week from when this episode drops, a week from then would be officially the first episode dropping.
That's awesome.
And I remember last year today we were in Irena's from Wonderland, her house,
Just talking
partying,
about
and
it.
we were just so
Talking
hyped
about
up.
Oh, that was on
Talking
New
about it to
Year's?
everyone
Yeah.
who would
That's
listen to us.
crazy.
Yeah, we're like, dude, that we're starting a podcast, and everyone was like, yeah, cool. And it was like they weren't like, and I feel like everyone's attitude changed once we started doing it. They were like, oh, you guys are really doing
Well,
this.
you guys
Right.
have not missed one single week, right?
Well,
Like-
we missed one kind of
Yeah.
when we had the Optimist episode. But
Oh.
other than that, we did like a greatest.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
No,
had
but
one
you
in
guys
the bank.
still,
Yeah.
you guys still put something out. Like you
Yeah.
put out something every single week.
Yeah.
Which
Yep.
is amazing.
Yeah, it's been hard work.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Like,
It's just been an extra thing on top of the pile of things.
I know. Like you guys are both busy people.
Yeah.
Right.
So
But yeah, hopefully people are still enjoying it.
It's
Still
been
tuning
worth
in.
all the work for sure.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Now we have people hand embroidering stuff.
Yeah.
It's just like the cool little on the cherry on top of this year's achievements for the podcast.
Yeah.
and it's cool to see people like referencing the podcast like on your guys' social media.
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
They listen to it. They feel like they know you guys.
Yeah. The inside jokes that go in. Like,
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's been cool. Yeah. Or okay, what? I don't even remember what
Cool.
cool.
Yeah.
I haven't said it in so long. But
Yeah, I have that on my soundboard
Yeah.
somewhere, but I'm not gonna.
that was
Hunt for
MJ's
it.
first episode. I said that on the first episode with MJ. I used to say that way more with MJ to annoy her.
Well, yeah, because you just wouldn't let me talk. And you
No, because she'd be like, this thing about this Harry Potter thing? And I'd be like, cool. And it's pretty much what I did on the podcast.
Yeah,
She would
yeah.
say like, oh, this.
when I get excited about
Yeah,
something.
she gets excited about something super nerdy.
Yeah. Right now it's Pokemon Go.
Yeah. Right now.
We
there's-
made fun of you a lot last episode about it.
It's pretty bad right now.
Yeah. She needs to be rehabilitated.
Yeah.
And they're coming out with the Pokemon movie. And
Oh, I can't
That's
wait.
not helping.
Oh, that was it, Detective Pikachu or something?
Yeah,
It
with
was so bad.
I can't wait.
But yeah, super fun year of podcasting
Mm-hmm.
and some work, but super cool to. One of the cool things is we've said it before, but when people hit us up on our Instagram or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, I listened to the podcast," like I instantly know I can give them more shit and
Yeah.
fuck around with them just a little bit more, and they totally get it. And
Yeah.
it's like this cool thing where the second they say it, I'm like, "Fuck yeah, man!" Like, we just get to like say stupid jokes and things like that. I don't have to be as like polite to
You
them.
can just be yourself.
Yeah, I can be more myself, which is nice and it's cool, and I think it's good for both of us to interact that way. You know?
Right.
And I've enjoyed getting to know the artist because the way that
For
you
sure.
guys handle the podcast, I feel like it's not so much interviewee.
Right.
And it makes it so you get an idea of who the person is as opposed to like what material do you use?
Right.
Like so just like actual like almost like an online interview or something like that.
Right.
So I feel like a lot of the artists that you guys interview, I know them, you know, like
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I know that guy.
Right.
It's like, oh no, I've never met him, but I know him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's like if you're looking to get helpful advice for your art, then it might not be that useful. But if you
Right.
want to like
Get to know the artist.
get to know artists in general,
Right.
get kind of like a feel of who these people are, I think this is what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you get a lot of advice just listening to everyone else trying to figure it out at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah, and there's like cool. Yeah, if you're listening like hard enough, we're not going to tell you to use clear gesso or whatever, but maybe sometimes we are. But there are things that are advice if you listen and you understand how to like use that for yourself.
Right.
As far as your art career, more than you creating art.
I think it's interesting too because you get to realize what options artists have because
Right.
nobody has
Exactly,
the same
yeah.
story.
Right.
Nobody has A, B, C. This is how I'm an artist. Everyone's doing something different.
Right.
Like very few people. Like some people are some people are muralists. Some people are doing only gallery shows.
Right.
Some people are going to Comic Cons. You know,
Right.
some people are doing just
Concept art.
animations.
Yeah.
Yeah, like people working at Pixar. It just gives you an idea and a look into how people are going about doing this thing that they love.
For sure.
And I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest early revelations for me was seeing how different people are tackling their art career and kind of put things in a different perspective for me. And that's when I first started thinking about, oh, maybe I should teach because everyone else is teaching too. I didn't even know that. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't until we started to talk to these people and learn about how they're making their living day to day. It's like, oh, okay,
Right.
there's so much more that I haven't thought about yet. That
Right.
should be.
Yeah. And even like Nadezhda does like set design and stuff like
Right.
that, or like that's so interesting to me, and I think it's
Yeah.
so cool. You know, like it's just
Right.
a different way that people are all using their creative minds to
Right.
do what they love, and I just find that super interesting and
For
look
sure.
forward to hearing that every single time you guys.
Yeah. One of the
Have
things
somebody
I
new.
noticed was like I should have been born into a rich dad.
Oh
I
yeah,
was just
that's
kidding.
true.
I
Yeah.
don't know if we've had any rich parent kids yet.
Probably.
Probably, but we haven't gone that. We haven't uncovered that stone.
But regardless, even if they, they come from money, they're figuring their stuff out a different way.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah, as long as you're creating cool shit,
Yeah.
then I can't judge you.
Yeah.
But if you're not, I'm trying to like think of someone who's obviously not rich to drop. If you're not Leon.
Yeah. But it's
yeah.
been, I'm proud of you guys. I mean, that sounds corny, but I am. I think you guys have put in a lot of work. And you guys are putting together even just like the work that you guys have done with editing and just your sound quality and all that has been huge in 1 year. But yeah, just in like the year that's passed by, if you look back, like that's not an easy task.
Yeah,
Like the consistency and the quality of interview.
for sure.
I think it's been
Sometimes the quality seems shit. That's because I'm probably hungover or something.
great. They're still
I
interesting.
try sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been super fun and super appreciate everyone listening. Appreciate all the guests we've had. Has been
Yeah,
super
definitely.
cool.
Everyone taking time out of their busy schedules to come hang out and
Yeah,
bullshit with us.
yeah, and all that stuff. And I can't wait to see what happens next year with the kind of direction we're trying to go.
hmm Yeah, I'm excited about that too.
I think we'll start having interesting conversations, not focused around the artist, but still giving you a point of view, their point of view through these conversations we have, which I think will be cool.
I think you start seeing similarities in like personalities as well. Like every artist that comes through here is going to be hardworking. They need to be dedicated. Like you'll start seeing like
Right, for sure. There's
Like-
definitely an obsessiveness, like how you were saying, I'm getting obsessed with murals. There is this like obsessive attitude people have where they work really hard, they get obsessed with this certain thing, they do it for, very little money a lot of times. And we're just very passionate people. We might have different beliefs or whatever, but for the most part, we're all very passionate and very driven to create the best artwork we as individuals can create in whatever style or whatever we like. And I think that's just universal for all the artists, at least we've had on. And I think in general, no one's trying to create shitty. I mean, there might be people trying to create shitty artwork or not trying that hard.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But I'm not trying to talk to those people.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for being proud of us. But yeah, I don't know. Has that been it? Thank you. We're gonna do the raffle a little bit after New Year's, just to kind of, because it takes a couple days sometimes for those reviews to kick in.
Yeah.
So even if you reviewed today, which is the last day, which is
Tuesday,
if you're listening to this,
Wednesday.
You're one day late if you haven't done it. So please leave us a review if you haven't done it. We really, really do appreciate it. You won't be in the raffle up because we set that rule and we stick to rules because I'm a rule following person. But yeah, we set that rule and I don't want to break it because it'd be unfair if you won. But yeah, still leave us a review. We really do appreciate it. And we will mail out some paintings to the two winners. If you wanted Josh piece or a Sergio piece and you get the other, so sorry, who cares?
Coordinate with each other to trade.
Tradesies. But yeah, I think that's it, right? Yeah. Happy New Year's, everyone.
Happy New Year's. Be safe.
Yeah, it's 2019. And as I always say, 2000, what did I say earlier?
What?
2019 is going to be a big year or whatever.
Since 2003, you've been
Since
saying.
2000, yeah. Established in 2003, that saying. But yeah, this has been Waiting Dry. If you're still listening, fuck off.